You guys are playing right into the stereotype with how many of you are holding up phones and iPads. It is so great to be here. The Dolphin Hotel Northern Hemisphere Ballroom is one of America's great comedy rooms. Such an intimate space. I feel like I know you all personally. It's very exciting to be here. I should say it feels very strange to be up here in front of such a tech-savvy audience. I should just admit, to let you know where I am at with technology, I still use both BlackBerry and Hotmail. So, yeah, how do you think I feel? It's just impressive that I took a plane to get here, and not a horse or a locomotive. But it's very exciting to be here. It is true what was said, I am starting a new job late night with Seth Meyer, and while I am not super technologically savvy, technology has completely changed the way I do my job. The main way it changes the way I do my job is in the way that we find talent now in the world of comedy writing. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, when we were looking for comedy writers for shows, with be it SNL and now with Late Night, you would get a submission of jokes, and you would get it either through an agent, or you would get it from a writer who knew someone already on your writing staff, and you would read through those jokes, and you would say, oh, this is pretty good, and you would set up a meeting, and you would hire someone with a very small sample size of their work. Now, with Twitter, we never hire anyone without having a huge sense of what kind of comedy writer they are. We'll meet someone, we'll have an interview, and then the next thing we'll do is we'll go on their Twitter account and we will read a year's worth of their jokes. And it gives you a sense of their taste, and it gives you a sense of how prolific they are, and it's completely democratized the talent search process for us in the world of comedy writing. The most impressive way this happened recently is with Late Night. My head writer on Weekend Update, who's now coming with me to the new show, his name is Alex Bays. His Twitter handle is BaysCraze. I highly recommend you follow him. And he sort of curated the people on Twitter that he likes the most. And when we got this new job, he said, here are 20 people I think you should follow. And we started following those people. And there were a couple people that really popped for me. There was this guy, Brian Donaldson, who's the Nardvark on Twitter. And he was great, and he had tweets that really made me laugh, like Justin Bieber dresses like a divorced dad making a last-ditch effort to connect with his teenage son. So we brought Brian in to meet, and most people that are in comedy, that are at the point in their careers where they're about ready to start a late night show, either live in New York or LA or sometimes Chicago. And we brought in Brian. I said, where are you from? He said, I'm from Peoria, Illinois. And I said, how long? Do we have Peoria in the house? I love it. I said, how long have you lived in New York? He's like, I don't live in New York. I live in Peoria, Illinois. And this feels like I'm pandering to the audience, but it turns out that Brian Donaldson worked at an insurance company in the IT department. He had never been in show business, he'd never had a TV job, he'd never even worked at a theater, and we hired him. He's the third person we hired for our new show, which is really exciting how it's completely changed the game. So technology has, certainly in the world of talent searching, I feel like in the entertainment industry, has broken down so many barriers that people used to have, be it economic or be it opportunity-based, and it's really exciting to be a part of that because I come from a previous generation. It was recently, I'm 40, and BuzzFeed just recently posted my freshman Facebook picture from college. And I was thinking it's so hilarious that when I went to college, a Facebook was just a book of faces. I will sound so dumb when I tell my children that's what it used to be. It's just a book with faces in it. Be that as it may, the data was safe. If you had the book in your hand, no one could get it from you. Also, all the data was like my hometown and that I liked baseball. But I appreciate this technology. There are some technology things that I would love your help with. You guys are more technologically savvy than me. Here's an invention that I think needs to be made. I recently went on my honeymoon with my wife, and when you are traveling with someone, we were in Paris, you have to ask strangers to take your photos all the time. So we asked them to take our picture, and going through the photos, I don't remember having asked this, but looking at the pictures, I guess the instruction I gave was, excuse me, stranger, can you take a picture of my wife and I? Here's what we're looking for. Just our heads in the lower eighth of the frame. I'd like the top 7/8 of the frame to be nothing but blue sky, with no place or building that would prove I wasn't just in my backyard. Could you do that for me? The other huge bummer now is that every camera has a video setting, so every 10th photo is not a still photo, but rather a strange 25-second art film of two people waiting for a picture that never comes. And if you hate your face, never watch one of those 25-second films. Just like what your expressions you cycle through while you wait for that picture to get taken are just like... They all end the same way. Oh, it's on video! People are asking me if I'm nervous about to start late night. I am nervous. I'm excited as well. It's helpful that I've done things in my career that I was more nervous about. The most nervous I ever was before a performance was in 2011. I performed at the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington, D.C., which was very exciting to get to perform for the president, but also very nerve-wracking. Before that show, about 100 of us got to wait backstage, and we got to line up, and the president and the first lady came out. You basically got to wait your turn, and then you got to walk out. You got to shake hands with the president. You got to get your picture taken. And I was very excited about that, but I was also very nervous because I wanted to be cool when I met the president. I had only met him once before, and I felt like when I met him, I had not been that cool. The only other time I met the president was in 2007 when he was candidate Obama, and he was running for office, and he came to SNL to do a sketch. And in that sketch, it was a Halloween party at Hillary Clinton's house. And the idea we had for him is he would walk out wearing a Barack Obama Halloween mask, and then he would take it off and reveal to the audience that he was the real Barack Obama. So I had to go into his dressing room and explain this to him, and I said to him, and then you'll take off the mask, and if it's too complicated or hard for you to get the mask off, we'll come up with something easier. And he looked at me and he said, I think you'll find I know how to take off a Halloween mask. And I immediately thought, oh my God, of course you can. No one gets as far as you've gotten in life without being able to do a thing a child does annually. So I'm standing in line to meet him, and I'm very nervous because I want this to go better, so I'm telling myself, be cool, be cool, be cool. As a rule, if you're telling yourself to be cool, you're about to not be cool. So I'm with my wife, and we walk up to meet the president, and he goes to shake her hand because he's a gentleman, and she goes to shake his hand, but her hand does not reach his hand because my hand has blasted in full speed and just run her hand off the side of the road. So, just to paint a picture, president with his hand out, me with my hand out, my wife with her hand in the air like it's been shot. And the president looks at me and goes, I was going to shake her hand first. So I had to go to the part of one's brain that comes up with super witty comebacks. And it went to that part of my brain. I was like, brain, I need you now more than ever. What is the perfect collection of words and phrases that I can say right now that once uttered will take this awkward situation of my own making and flip it on its head so that I leave this interaction as the cool one and the president's the one left going, who was that guy? And here's what I came up with, and I'm still very proud of it today. So the president said, I was going to shake her hand first. And I said, ha 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 ha, I know, and walked away. I lost a friend in Donald Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He was in the audience that night. I told some jokes about him. He's still pretty mad at me. I said, among other things, Donald Trump says if he runs for president, he will run as a Republican, which is funny because I just assumed he was running as a joke. Donald Trump often appears on Fox News, which is ironic because a fox often appears on Donald Trump's head. And the kill shot, Donald Trump says he's friend of the blacks, but unless the blacks are family of white people, I bet he's mistaken. But it was really fun, and I felt like I did a great job at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I will admit that it went to my head. It went to my head, and I was just so proud of the job I did. And it was Saturday, and I started thinking, this is great. This went great. And then the next night, Sunday night, the night after the Correspondents' Dinner, President Barack Obama went on TV and announced that SEAL Team 6 had killed Osama bin Laden, which was this crazy moment in American history, this great closing the book on this awful chapter in our nation, and which is why I feel really embarrassed about what I'm going to tell you, which is this. I felt so good about the job I did at the correspondence dinner on Saturday night. I spent all Sunday thinking, when the news comes on Monday, all they're gonna do is talk about how funny I was. As long as no major news story happens on Sunday, Monday belongs to me. I'm ashamed to admit it. I'm basically saying that I'm the one guy in America who, upon hearing the news that Osama bin Laden was dead, was like, "Ah, tonight?" They waited 10 years and they got him tonight? But then I came up with something that made me feel better about it. I came up with a story that now I use to make myself feel better about that moment, which is this. The president also told jokes that night. He was really funny. I went after him. I feel like I was a little bit funnier. I think what happened is this. The president went back to the White House in a bad mood. He got all his advisors together. He was like, "Seth Meyer has the focus. We got to do something to get the focus back." Any ideas? And someone was like, "We could kill Osama bin Laden." And he was like, "Do it." So you're welcome, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Jay Bear.